What's going on, guys? Welcome back to LMDiesel, and today we are working on the black dually once again, and unfortunately and fortunately the hood stack is going away. So of course y'all know the black dually, it's hood stacked, NV5600, got a 6.7 swapped into it. We've been doing a ton of work to this thing on the channel, and today it is time to say goodbye to the Borg Warner 7474 and the hood stack. Reason we're doing this is just to get some drivability back out of it. The way the piping is run for this hood stack, we can't actually put the AC in it, so we definitely gotta get the AC back in this thing because we are in Texas. So we're getting rid of it, we're putting the stock turbo back in, but we have some fun goodies going into this thing. So let me show you the parts that we got. All right, so these are the parts we're working with. Number one, big thanks to Boost Auto for sending out a set of their top of the line 3rd gen mirrors, so these will be going on. We also have an MBRP exhaust 4-inch with the muffler. Of course, we just have our stock turbo going back on. So we got the new clamp to clamp the exhaust on. Of course, we have the oil drain line, we have a heater hose, we have the gaskets, and then we have some new piping to install as well. Finally, the AC kit is ordered, so we'll top this off by actually reinstalling AC into this thing. So this isn't gonna be like a full in-depth install or anything like that. We're just gonna kind of be working, and I'm just gonna be taking y'all along for the ride. So once again, if you are interested in this turbo at all, let me know, DM me on Instagram, and I'll see if I can't hook you up.
A few moments later.
All right, so we're just kind of blowing and going here, and things are looking pretty good, so this is where we're at. Pretty simple, got all the turbo stuff removed, hood stack piping, the turbo and everything out, oil drain line. So now I'm about to pull this old exhaust manifold off, and then we'll start cleaning everything up and kind of start fitting up the new turbo. So here we go. Definitely one of the reasons why I'm excited to get the new piping on. As you can tell, this pipe, even though we did our best to clean it up, the welds aren't great on it. And then here's the hood stack. You can just kind of tell by the way it's shaped that it's not the best run, especially with this big old like dent thing coming out here. But hey, you know, it worked. All right, so kind of wrapped up for the evening. Nothing too crazy, but we got the old turbo installed. Now we're just waiting on a oil line that we gotta install, or an oil line that we gotta pick up. But all the bolts for the turbo are tight, so that's kind of where we're at. Then we're gonna start plumbing it up tomorrow.
The next day.
All right, so we are back. It is the next day, and we're still over here working on the Ram 3500. This is kind of where we're at. So once again, we have our old turbo and exhaust manifold installed. We are waiting on some parts. Had to order a new oil feed line for the turbo. Had to order the connector that'll go here for the EGT probe, and then also needed to order the whole AC kit because this thing doesn't even have a condenser, it doesn't have a dryer, it doesn't have any of that stuff. So for now, I think I'm gonna start trying to plumb up some of the turbo piping, and then after that, I'm gonna start working on trying to plumb up the exhaust.
1 hour later.
All right, so we got our turbo charge pipe in, courtesy of Amazon. So now we're gonna go ahead and attack the oil drain line.
The next day.
I tell you what, this video is probably gonna feel a little spotty because we have been trying to get a hold of parts and stuff to get this truck done. But regardless, we ran into some issues, but we solved some problems. Let me show you. So number one, our AC stuff showed up. So we have a new condenser here. We have some fittings, we have the oil, we have a new dryer, we have a new line, and we have a new compressor. So that'll be going on. The other thing that we ran into is the oil lines that were on this truck before for the other turbo were aftermarket. So now I have some factory oil lines here so that we can get the stock turbo working. And then the final thing we ran into, and to be honest with you, this one's actually kind of crazy to me. So this truck is a 2004 and a half. I thought it was just a 2004. Apparently the way you can tell, actually, I'm sure a lot of you guys already know this, but the way you can tell is actually by the steering wheel. So this has the same steering wheel that's in my red truck, so the newer steering wheel. So that's how you're supposed to be able to tell if it's a 2004 and a half. Anyway, one of the issues I ran into, and y'all should know this as well, is that if you do buy an exhaust for your truck, the 2004 exhaust will not fit a 2004 and a half exhaust because the downpipe is different. How do I know that? Well, I got the 2004 exhaust. Let me show you what I mean. So, ran down to Summit, picked this up from BD Diesel down at Summit Racing in Arlington. And here's the deal. So this is what came in our MBRP kit. This is the downpipe. Seems like it's fine, but when you actually try to hook it up to the turbo flange, you'll see it no fitty because the flanges are different. Now that we have this BD Diesel one, you will see now that these flanges do fit. So we're just gonna use a different downpipe and hopefully that will simply fix the problem. So fingers crossed we can get the truck started today. I'm very excited to see how this thing sounds with a regular exhaust and not the hood stack. Love the hood stack, but we live in Texas. It's gonna be a hot summer and I need AC. So the turbo should be totally plumbed up. We have our new line, our new fill line, and our new drain line installed, and everything's tight. But obviously we don't have the downpipe hooked up, but I do just want to start it just to see how it does. And just to make sure that I did everything right. So let's see what it does. Should be a lot quieter than the hood stack. Here we go. All right, here it is. All right, it's out of focus, but that seemed to fire pretty good. We got oil pressure. Let's get a look. I think we're good. All right, so now we're gonna start on the exhaust, and this is about how it's gonna look, how it's gonna fit. So we have our new BD Diesel downpipe, and then the rest is an MBRP 4-inch exhaust with the little flow-through exhaust there, and then straight out the back. So I have a diamond dye 4-inch exhaust on my red truck, and I really like it. Honestly, I love the 4 because you can kind of roll down your windows and get some sound if you want to. When you roll it up, it's pretty quiet. I like 5 too. I had 5 on the red truck before. Honestly, if your truck is kind of more of like a weekend warrior, I think I would go for 5. But if you're like daily driving it, I would go for 4. As far as like a performance difference, I personally don't think that there is any difference between 4 and 5-inch exhaust. That's simply because of the actual outlet of the turbo. Like if the outlet of the turbo is 4-inch, then making it go to 5, I don't think would really do anything. Now, if you got like a big old, like, you know, T6 turbo or something with a big outlet that's like 5-inch, then yes, I think you'd get better performance doing like a full 5-inch back. But regardless, this truck has a stock turbo, so the 4-inch will be fine. So this is kind of how it's looking right now. So let's go ahead and get it on. So we got the exhaust on, but unfortunately, this truck is missing literally all of the rubber mounts that actually hold up the exhaust. Just another thing I forgot to order when I started doing this whole project. So anyway, it's kind of temporarily held up. Let me show you what we got and then let's start it. Brand new 4-inch exhaust, looking pretty solid. I'm not even gonna lie, it's held up by heavy duty zip ties right now. But I will be ordering some new rubber mounts to hold this thing. But yeah, it turned out pretty good. You can also see here, we have our down pipe hooked up and everything. By the way, this thing was so hard to get on. I'm just gonna throw that out there. This, super easy. That, super difficult, because there's these like 2 little holes in there, and then there's 2 little pins on here that you gotta line up with the holes on here, and it's just not easy. But it's hooked up. All right, first startup time. Let's see how it sounds. All right, here we go. That is really quiet. Let's see how it sounds out the back. Not bad. Let's give it a couple revs. All right, so we're in the truck and we got the exhaust on and we have the air filter on somewhat, and we're taking it kind of for a preliminary test drive just to see kind of how it drives with this stock turbo. Never driven this truck with the stock turbo, so I'm very curious to see how it does. The other thing is, while we're driving, you will notice an exhaust leak. There's a hole where the EGT probe is supposed to go, and I don't have the little threaded fitting to go in there for the EGT probe. That's coming in a couple days. So there will be an exhaust leak you might hear, but here we go. I'll be honest with you, it kind of sounds silly, but it absolutely has more power. Like, not even a question. Absolutely 1000% has more power. Just that little turbo lights up. Hit like 35 PSI boost. Yeah, she's feeling pretty good. All right, so it's a couple days later. We kind of got the exhaust somewhat wrapped up. I just need to install some of those rubber exhaust hangers. So I'm about to do that now because those came in. And then we're gonna start with finally putting all the AC stuff back on the truck. So, by the way, there is a fair bit of background noise because it is raining, so sorry about that. But we're just gonna keep moving along here and try to wrap this thing up. So before we start the AC, I was able to get the fitting for the EGT probe. So got that threaded in, installed, looks good. Now we're gonna start by putting in the dryer over here. So while I'm working on the AC, Dad over here is gonna start working on getting these old Amazon mirrors off. These are 4th gen style mirrors, which is nice, but they're just cheapo Amazon ones. So we're gonna work on getting these off, and then we're gonna start installing the Boost Auto ones. Or he is, rather, while I work on the AC.
Later.
So this is what was left of the AC dryer when we got the truck. I guess when you want a hood stack, you just cut it and get going. But now we have our dryer installed and looking good. So now I'm gonna start working on the compressor. All right, so we got our old mirror off. Turns out we actually have some pretty decent looking kicker speakers in here. I don't know what they're worth, but didn't know we had them till now. But yeah, here's the kind of 4th gen style replacement mirror. Solid, but not as good as the Boost Auto. Here's our AC compressor. Had to get a look at this.
Come on, Jenna.
Oh, yeah. Apparently it still works, but so our old AC compressor is missing some hardware, per usual with this truck. So I'm hoping that the new one has the bolts. And oh, I think we're in luck. It does have the bolts. Yeah, it works out. So yeah, here's our new one. 1010. Here's our old one. Ooh, oops. Stop leaking it.
2 hours later.
All right, so we kind of got to our stopping point today and things are wrapping up and looking pretty nice. So let's take a look. So I kind of had not a ton of time today to wire these up, but we do have the new Boost Auto mirrors on. They look really nice. Don't have all the power fold function, all that stuff hooked up yet, but of course they are plugged in and functioning. We also have new condenser hooked up, nice and clean. This is the factory line. This one's still good, but we have new lines connected to the back of the compressor. We have a new compressor down there, which you can see is a little dirty, but it fit up great. New lines on the back of the compressor. And then of course, the new dryer back there as well. Really, we're kind of back to one last final step, and that is we gotta charge the AC. And then we just gotta hook up the mirrors, and then unfortunately, our rubber exhaust hanger gasket things didn't show up, so gotta find those. But we're getting real close to knocking this thing out, and the moment that this truck has AC is gonna be such a big win, and I'm gonna be so sad if it doesn't work. So anyway, keep watching to the end of the video.
3 weeks later.
All right, so it's a few weeks later and I got some updates for you guys. So if you've seen the most recent video I posted right here, you'll see that we moved to Colorado. So there's been some craziness going on because of that, and I haven't been able to get a ton done on this truck, but I'm still trying to finish up this gig. Once again, this is kind of a spotty video because it's like I'm working on it here and there and I'm just kind of compiling it all together. But regardless, we're on the home stretch and I'm just gonna give y'all some final updates. So as you know, we got the AC all hooked up and we actually have it charged. One of the things I ran into though is this line. There's a line that runs in there, and inside there is an expansion valve. And almost any time that you replace your AC system, you need to replace that valve because it's almost always clogged. Ask me how I know. I got there to charge the AC and one line just froze up because that valve was clogged. So replace all of the lines in your kit and you should be solid. So yeah, it's this line here and then it runs through there and then there's like a little valve right in there. So anyway, we got the AC charged. As you can see in this video, praise the Lord Jesus, the AC is fixed. The dually is driving with cold AC here in Texas. Shoot, even my dog Roman's enjoying it. We just got it charged up. Big thanks to the guys at Extra Mile Automotive. Love those guys for helping me out with this. So yeah, this thing feels so good. But unfortunately, it turns out the ignition switch is going out on this thing because the day I got the AC charged, I was enjoying good cold AC, and then the blower motor decided to stop working. And it's not the blower motor, it's not the resistor, and everyone says that if it ain't those two things, it's the ignition switch. So, one more thing, right? So the other thing that we just recently got finished up is getting the Boost Auto mirrors fully wired up. And I'd like to show that to y'all. So I've done this twice now and it's actually turned out pretty clean both times. So you get your wiring that comes to the mirror here, you'll tap in here, and then I kind of run the wires just like that. And I like to mount it, I like to mount the wireless module here. Of course, you'll run your wires for your blinkers into here and here, kind of do all your tightening up here, splice it all in here, splicing in this side and the other side, which I'll show you that now. So of course you have your module here, you got the two wires that connect there, running down to its little harness here, down to this module here, which kind of controls everything. connect this up to the mirror, and then you'll have this right here, which that actually goes to the blinkers. Some of y'all will remember how when I installed the Boost Auto cab lights, I actually had to activate them with a switch because the previous owner put those on a switch. Well, I was finally able to fix that, and I actually wired those cab lights into the circuit, so when you actually turn on your lights, everything turns on. So once again, we have our little module here. This is not where this normally goes, just so we're clear, it's because of the way he wired it. And then I was able to tap into the signal and power wires down here for that. So it all turns on when you hit the switch. The cab lights actually come on now. So I'm gonna go ahead, get these door panels back on, and then we'll give you all the full reveal. Final thing is we actually got ourselves an exhaust tip put on as well. This is a 4 to 6. Well, this journey with the dually has kind of come to an end. Truthfully, the dually is staying here in Texas, and me and my wife moved to Colorado, so we're not really gonna be filming much content with the dually. It'll probably pop up from time to time, but this is kind of the final episode with the dually for now. But to kind of show y'all again what we did, this is it. So we got everything back together. Not perfect, but pretty close. And once again, big thanks to Boost Auto for the help that they have given with these mirrors. I just love this power fold feature. Let me show you guys. So here, as y'all remember, click it to the left. Boom, 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 boom.
We wired to the headlight and cut it to length.
So cool, man. And then hit the forward button and they go out. So cool. Then once again, we have our cab lights, which have the 6 startup sequence, which I love. Goes so well. I mean, that just never gets old. That's so sick. Yeah, Boost Auto has really helped me out, so y'all definitely check out their stuff. I'll leave links to this down below. So of course, we have our 4-inch exhaust installed. Looking good, sounding good. I did also get those exhaust hangers on as well. Flopping it for a quick spin. And unfortunately, the AC does work, but as I said before, that that ignition switch decided to go out.
Adjust my mirror here.
So it doesn't
Look
work.
how nice that mirror adjusts.
That mirror does adjust pretty nice, huh?
Oh yeah.
This will be a good maiden voyage. Make sure I did everything right. Although we might just be poking around the farm. It does sound good now, right?
Please let me think.
Honestly, like the 4-inch exhaust was the move on this. It looks good. I mean, even my little sister wants it.
I'm taking this to college.
She's taking it to college.
Fine.
There you go. It really doesn't want to smoke much, honestly. You know, honestly, it's kind of crazy. This thing really doesn't smoke much. Those flex injectors that we put in a year ago,
Yeah.
they work great. Now, here's some raw shifting action here.
It's out of control, baby.
It kind of got going, didn't it?
Stop signing up.
Almost couldn't stop in time.
You know what? Just don't stop.
Soup says just don't stop. Be honest, were you kind of mildly surprised at how much it got up and went?
Yeah, I was in what, 4th when I kind of hit it.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, this thing. Oh man, this thing's a race car. Yeah, you really got this thing tuned well, man.
It's honestly shocking how little it smokes, you know?
Did you see any smoke when I was doing it?
No, that's the crazy thing. There you go. Making some good boost. He's cooking. Hey, you should drop me off so you can do a flyby. Thing sounds good, man. I'm not even gonna lie. It sounds good and it looks good. This thing sounds so awesome, man. You rolled a little bit of coal there. Oh, yeah.
Moments later.
Yeah, she's giving it the beans. So you'll go.
You went in the fifth.
She cold it out. Just all the whistle sounds, man. All right, remember you got a stop sign coming up.
Yeah, I thought that whistle was just the sixth blow that did that.
This thing whistles pretty good, huh?
Sure does. Is that because we have the stock stuff back on it?
I think so. Yeah, man, this is a pretty cool truck. Gonna miss it a little bit here in Texas, but you know what? I think that's the end of the saga. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. I will catch y'all in the next one.